how to create a pattern design like this in Affinity Photo. It's all created using a basic square. Go to the Tools panel and select the Rectangle tool. With the Rectangle tool selected, hold down the Shift and drag and just create a square. What you can then do is add some colour to the sides. And you can do that using Layer Effects. So right click and then go down here to Layer Effects. So in Layer Effects, go for Outer Shadow, and I can set the radius there and offset and intensity. Or what you can also do is you can change the angle. So I'm just putting the angle at 0 and click there, and I'm going to go with red as the colour for that side. Now you can see you've obviously got some bit of colour here. It's not going to be exactly perfect, but let's go with this all the way around now. Click plus again and go to this one and go to green or blue, of course, you can go for that. And with that, you can then change this. So let's just push that around to 90. You see now you've got green and you've got red there. Again, plus, go to this one, click here and blue. And again, you can see now if I change that, push that to 180, got the blue there. Obviously a little bit of green there, it's only subtle. Also plus and down there. And I'm going to go with yellow this time. So yellow or orange, just another colour. And push that one down to 270. So now I've got blue, green, red and yellow. And close. You could of course add other effects as well if you want. But once you've got this, you can now repeat it multiple times. Now you could do it manually, perfectly reasonable. Simply duplicate the layer and resize, but you can always use the Move tool, select that, press return or enter on the keyboard. This pops up. And you can enter a value here for the scale. And I'm going to go for this example, about 98. Could be 90. You could go with 99, make it really intense. Up to you, but I don't want to push it too far. So 98, 97. Also, click here, duplicate, and number of copies, and you can reduce it down. Once you tap off there, you can see the result of it. But what it's doing is creating lots and lots of layers. So maybe 97 is even a bit too much. Maybe 95. So you can see it goes down like that. You can just try it, obviously try and error. But then you can also go for rotation, so just rotate it. Also, increase number of copies there. You just push it down. What happens, it creates 83, 100 odd copies just to get down there. That's why if you set this to maybe like 99, you'd have to have a lot of copies. But the general result creates something like this. Lovely yellows, all going through to reds, to the blues and greens, etc. And click OK. Now I'm not going to have all those copies of layers for too long. So right click. So once I've selected them all, I can then group them. So group, they're all grouped into that. I think that's quite a nice visual design anyway. So what you can then do, right click again and go down to rasterize, because I want to turn it into a pattern layer. So rasterize. With that, I can now just use this as a pattern. So I can go over here to layer and new pattern layer from selection. And you'll see what is a slight issue here. There's a gap. Not what I want. So undo. What you can do, you can go over here, rectangular marquee tool, and select something like that. Now you could do it obviously that part. You don't have to select the whole thing. Maybe decide, you know what, about there. That's about what I want. I want some red at the edges and all those sorts of things. Also, I've got feather here at 0. Of course, you could experiment, try different things with different feathers to create even more unusual effects. But now you can go over here to layer and new pattern layer from selection. And you've got that. Now, it's fine. You can see, unfortunately, there's seams. But what you can do, go to mirror. And then with that, you can then resize this and move it around, rotate it, and create all kinds of different designs that are based obviously on this sort of spiraling inward design. And of course, once you've got that, you can always rasterize the design as well. And let's just undo that. Just go back to that start point. You could modify that central part. Maybe go to filters and distort and deform. So in there, just add some pins. Just distort the central part. Don't distort the around the edge. What you want to just distort that. And you could create even more unusual designs, maybe a slight variation on that design there. So click apply. With that, you can then go again to layer and new pattern layer from selection. And then you've got that design. And then again, mirror. And you can see as you drag that, you've got that design. But maybe you could use also symmetry. So the mirror filter, all those sort of filters can be used to create all kinds of unique designs. And also you can undo again. Let's just undo that and select and deselect. You can see this could be also maybe hold down the Alt or Option key and duplicate the design. And again, just resize that, so like that. Put that on top. Maybe go right click and go there to Layer Effects. And just go down to Outer Shadow again. This time, instead of obviously the colours, maybe go for Offset and Intensity. And you can just add a nice shadow or use the Offset tool. So you can just shift it maybe like that. Create some, sort of give a bit of depth. And click Close. Select all of them. And again, you could of course create 5 or 6 of them. So right click, group, right click, and then down to rasterize, and then layer, and down to new pattern layer from selection. And you've got that sort of design. Again, you could also use selections. So again, just go here to rectangular marquee tool, select a part of the image, like that, and then layer and new pattern layer from selection to create that sort of design. And once you've done that, you can resize it, rotate it, and again, go to mirror option to create designs like that. And literally thousands of variations of this sort of design could be created using this approach. And of course, you could also manipulate the actual square. You don't have to go with the square. You could manipulate the square, maybe distort the edges of the square, and then use that to create this sort of design. It might make a very interesting variation. Hope you found this of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. A like or dislike, always appreciated. Bye.